Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
When we think about something that brings out the best in us, it usually involves helping someone else. By donating plasma at a Grifols Center, you can help save millions of lives and show your good side to the world. You'll join thousands of people who donate safely each week, so patients get the plasma-derived medicines they rely on. And you'll be rewarded up to $1,000 your first month. Learn more at grifolsplasma.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
The mighty 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Savannah, a radio.com station.
This is the story of a DNA experiment gone mostly wrong.
BJ and Migs, mornings.
Consider this.
This happy couple, for instance, have a real problem.
How could you?
Remain calm.
Out of sight.
Be ready for anything.
The pros and cons.
Do not cross the streams.
This is BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up, BJ?
Well, you know, it feels like the first time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it really has been a minute, and but I think the first thing we want to do is send out our condolences. One of the people on our show has had a loss in his life, death in his family, and Danny V, who's not with us today because somebody very, very special in his life passed away recently, and it was his granddad,
his grandfather Edward Esteban, and 100 years old. Lived to 100. I know Danny spoke about him before, and he's shown he put up on his Facebook in the past some really fun videos of him and his grandpa. I remember just recently how he was just celebrating the fact that he just hit his 100th birthday, and it's awful. Obviously lived a great life, but I feel for Danny, man. It's tough to lose your grandfather, and it was more like a father figure to him as well.
Yeah, so that's where Danny is, and again, we a lot of love and a lot of condolences that we're sending out to him for that. And
did you see his post on his Facebook page? He said one of the most special moments of my life, carrying my grandfather to the next life, and that hit me yesterday in the feels because being a pallbearer was something I never was until my uncle passed away, and that was such a weird, powerful moment to you're carrying the person that you care so much about. I don't know if you've ever been a pallbearer.
Well, Steve, the mother figure in my life, like my second mother, I did not expect this. It was pretty much the day before the funeral. They said, "Hey, would you mind being a pallbearer?" And I said, "I hope you've got stronger people, but I'm glad to give it my shot."
Let me check. Hold on. I got to get a set in before
Dude, it's heavy.
No, dude.
That coffin's heavy.
You're right. I did not realize that until I was a pallbearer for my uncle, and there was a bunch of us. There was a good crew of people that you feel like can carry it. And once we all did it, y'all kind of looked at each other like, nobody better drop this guy. Like that would be the worst thing ever, obviously. And also, but like, you're right. I felt it immediately how heavy the casket and also the body is.
And it is an amazing experience, Steve. I had no idea. It's like Danny said, this is this is the last time that pretty much we're going to have any interaction with this person. We're bringing them to their final resting site, and it was super powerful. And I'm really glad that Danny got to be a part of that. He wasn't, you only, and a lot of people in your life, you're either here for the beginnings or the ends. So it's nice to be able to participate in either side of that process, because both are amazing. And he did have a fantastic life. I mean, Danny, and the stories and everything he told us, like you said, on 100 years, man, everything that he saw and all of the people he got to interact with, and just the world. I mean, imagine a century of change. Him as a little kid growing up, and then to his last days. A completely different world. I mean, he saw the turn of, pretty much, I think 2 centuries almost, really, when you think about it.
I mean, you could speak on behalf of that as well.
Yeah, I just missed the turn of the first century. You're absolutely right.
You caught the tail end.
It was really close. I was, I was in the 10s, man. Yeah.
Was Rev or Vicky, were you guys ever pallbearers for anyone, or?
No.
Oh, Vicky, your mic's not on. I don't know.
Button.
Vicky's running the board for Danny, so. Oh, there we are.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, there you go, Vicky. Congratulations.
I've had a few people I've lost in my life, but I've actually never gone to an actual funeral.
You've never been to a funeral?
Actually gone to one?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's either worked out to where it just wasn't, I couldn't go. It just didn't time out that way. So I've never been.
Wow.
I've been to
That's
memorials,
nuts.
but not an actual funeral.
I mean, I can't say you're missing. I mean, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I can't believe you're missing out on the funeral. You're missing out on all the good times.
So you've been to memorials. So
Yes.
you've been to the wakes and whatever, but you haven't been to a funeral.
Nope.
There is. Look, it's morbid, but at the same time, it is powerful. It is the circle of life. I was there obviously for both of my parents, and it was, it was young for me. My mom when I was, I was 14-ish. And then my dad when I was 28. So, you don't want to be there, but then after the fact, and it could even be years later, I was glad that I was there.
And like what you mentioned, I remember with my uncle, it was one of those things where they asked me like the day of if I wanted. I think they were just not sure if I would want to, because I was an emotional wreck, and I'm so glad they did. Like, I think it was such a, even reading Danny's post, it brought me right back to that moment, like being able to be the person that was part of a group of people to send the man off in a weird way of saying it. But it was something that I think was necessary for my closure.
Now, this is again condolences to Danny, who lost his grandfather recently, and I want to give the proper amount of space, because I got some other news that really, pales into comparison. But Steve, this is huge news. So again, much love to Danny, and he will be back with us soon after he gets done with being with his family through all this. But Steve, something huge. Oh my gosh. Finally, the East Side has something.
I thought of you the moment I saw this story.
Same.
Something massive.
Hey, let me tell you, this is a correction of a mistake that happened in the 70s that finally has been corrected.
50 years in the making.
Yes. Something big is coming to Bellevue. Steve will tell you all about it. He's got the Miggs Report for you at 6:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Miggs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW. 50 years of KISW presented by Palace Law. Now back to BJ and Miggs mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Well informed on the issues of the day? Not this guy. Live from the KISW News Center in downtown Seattle, this is the Miggs Report.
Well, thanks, guys, and thanks to pistachios today.
Really? Okay. Thank you, pistachio.
Oh, the best nut.
It is truly the best nut. You're right, Rev. Thank you. It's National Pistachio Day. So maybe, I don't even know if they sell them anymore. Do they sell the ones that have like the red dye on them? So you can catch people red-handed eating the pistachios? Like, that's how my mom would bust me when I was a kid. I would eat her pistachios. She's like, you ate my pistachios. I'm like, no, I didn't. She's like, look at your fingers. I'm like, oh, I cut myself. I swear. No.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen red-dyed pistachios in a long time. It seems like they've given up on those, man.
Right. They were the best. I don't even know what the reason was for that. And I'm sure someone knows. I think,
I know what it was, man. All right. You know what? It was Vicky.
Yes.
Oh, it's Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky. Yeah.
Just Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky probably wasn't even born back when my mom was eating these pistachios.
Well, you know what, Steve? I think and I don't know if Vicky remembers this, but there was that red dye scare, and I think people just was like, even though they came up with a healthy red dye that didn't hurt you, I think people were like, we don't care. We don't want anything red dye anymore. And I wonder if pistachios was like, yeah, we better stop putting red dye on it because people may not want to eat them.
But who's the marketing genius? Like, guys, we're not selling enough pistachios. I think I know the reason why. They're not red. You know what I mean? Like, what? A natural colored pistachio does not look unappealing to me. I bet the red made it look more appealing.
You know what's interesting? I bet they found out that red was a color that people dug, like, I don't know, red M&Ms or something. Yeah, because this was back, what, the 50s, 40s? I don't know when they started making red dye pistachios, but
you might be right.
I mean, they were like, red's a hot one. People think of, like red dresses and sexy red dresses. So let's make our pistachios sexy red.
We want our nuts to be associated with sex. Make them red.
Who's ever wanted that?
Well, you might be onto something with the whole like M&Ms. Like, we want them to be like candy. People will like them if they're red.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, anyways.
Do they have red M&Ms anymore? Because I miss them.
Yeah, they brought those back.
Oh, good. I haven't had an M&M in a while, apparently.
We need pistachio M&Ms.
Ooh.
Whoa. Game changer.
I would do that. I'd try that.
Yeah, you try it.
Chocolate-covered pistachios? Has anyone ever tried that yet?
Steve, another one of your genius ideas, man.
I better patent this one because I might be able to retire on this one.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to hold my breath. I know that you and Rev usually get together with great marketing schemes.
Well, Steve, I hate to burst your bubble there, but according to nuts.com, they do have chocolate-covered and even toffee-covered pistachios.
Weird. The safe search filter on my computer won't let me go to that website.
Yeah.
Also on onuts.com as well.
So there's chocolate-covered pistachios already?
Mm-hmm.
And nuts. How do I not know about nuts.com? Like, there's a place. I mean, I would never think of searching it, Steve. I'm with you. I would never think of going there.
You usually go to nuts.org.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
All right, well, we're transitioning because now let's talk about going from nuts to dicks driving.
Oh.
Big news.
Dicks, baby.
Big news, BJ. It's funny because someone just texted and said, hey, the first person I thought of when I heard Dix was going to be on the east side was BJ. How funny is that? And same here, dude. I saw the big post, and at first I thought, the food truck's coming to the Bellevue area. No, they're actually opening up a Dix location at Bellevue's Crossroads Shopping Center.
Dude, Crossroads is legit, by the way. I don't know if they still have it, but they had a giant chess set that you could play there at Crossroads. It's like one of the coolest little malls that are like, and Dick's is going to be perfect.
So it's going to be on the exterior of the building, and it's going to be made to look like one of the drive-in ones. So that's kind of a cool vibe. So it's actually in the building, but you'll walk up to the outside of the building to get your dicks, your bag of dicks, of course.
Nice.
And it looks like end of 2021. That's when you mark it in your calendar, BJ.
Oh, so this year will end on a high note. Hopefully, you know what? We'll all be able to go see each other and all meet at Dick's. How cool would that be?
Nice. Can't wait. Looking forward to that. So, well, this is a weird transition, but this is the next story I have. I didn't intentionally mean this.
Oh, here we go.
But it says, a Florida man blacked out and then severed his wife's lover's penis.
Oh!
Wow!
This is actually, you're right.
Dick's is opening in Bellevue.
Yeah, and then this poor guy is closing, apparently.
Apparently, he was very upset with this man for banging his wife. So what does he do? He went to go confront the guy. He's 51 years old. And apparently, according to him, he blacked out. He tied the man up in the bedroom and said, "You're not going to die, but you're going to have something to remember for your whole life." And by that, he meant he's going to remove something from his body part. And he pulled the man's pants down, and yes, exactly did what you think.
Oh, he Game of Thrones did. That's not cool.
I don't know what that means, but I'd imagine it means removing the bag of dicks from his.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to him.
And
and this guy on Game of Thrones, apparently, he was famous. He had a famous bag of dicks. And, that's not cool.
Well, apparently doctors unable to reattach it.
No.
Did he get to take it home?
Oh, like a necklace?
Or I was like maybe in a jar or something like that. I got to take my teeth home when they pulled my teeth.
But did you really want to go home with a thing that you wish you could still use?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want that. Haunting me on the shelf like that?
Maybe not.
I mean, well, you know, what did Justin Timberlake, right? JT and Andy Samberg did that song.
Oh, dude. For Halloween, you could do it and you could hand the box over to someone and still keep it in there.
Yeah, exactly. It literally is in a box, yeah, and I can't use it anymore.
Yikes.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Happy National Pistachio Nuts Day.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to sever my action, why not put it in a box and sing about it?
Oh, man, I don't know if you guys are keeping up on the latest developments in the world of the Seattle Seahawks, but apparently a certain member of the team is in the news. I mean, it's just been an ongoing saga, but Russell Wilson, a lot of people are speculating that there's a chance that a trade could happen, although everyone's shooting that down, but there is at least one thing confirmed that he's not happy, and we've talked about this before, not happy with how the season went, with last year, with some of the stuff, but there's a new article that was put out in The Athletic. I didn't read the whole article, I just read what other people wrote about because I'm not subscribing to it. Certain things in life I just refuse to pay for, and that's
I did the same thing, Steve. I didn't read anything except what they said.
Dude, I don't know about you guys, whenever I see an article and it's got a great headline, I'm like, oh, I want to read all about this sports story, and then it's The Athletic, and I'm like, you son of a bitch, I know you're going to want my money, and I'm not giving it to you.
Nope.
Even though it's like $3.99 or whatever it is.
I ain't doing it.
But apparently at one point he was unhappy with how the offensive schemes were going. He walked out on a team meeting before one of their games. There seems to be a lot more attention behind the scenes than we originally thought. But did say that he's not demanding a trade, according to ESPN reports. Although there are 4 teams that he's willing to play for if there was a trade, and that's the Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Chicago Bears, which I love. Every single Chicago Bears fan has tweeted out, Russell, come to our team, not even throwing a ball once, you'll instantly become the greatest quarterback that we've ever had. Wow. Which I thought was pretty funny, and it's like, first I'm like, that's not true, and then I started thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that actually is really true. So.
You know, and he's all over the road with it. It's like one place is a cold weather hell. Then you got, of course, Las Vegas, which is great. The Cowboys, a storied franchise. And what's the 4th team?
The 4th team was the New Orleans Saints, which, I mean, that's a team that he idolizes Drew Brees. So a lot of people think that's a place that's perfect for him.
That's, it's real. But, as far as geography goes, I mean, he's got some cold weather action, and then the rest of it's pretty nice, whether either indoors or, in decent temperatures.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen. Obviously, he brought in a new offensive coordinator, someone to Russell's liking. So a lot of people are like, this is just, hopefully just posturing to kind of twist the arm and make sure that he has a good offensive line. But it's interesting to watch how just Twitter's imploding. I had a lot of fun watching people just losing their minds about this.
I'm actually very happy to hear this for one reason. It's because he's human. I mean, Russell, you think about everything he's been through. I mean, and he even talked about it himself, or at least somebody said he's quoted in the article, is that he's been hit so many times and he's tired of it. I just couldn't believe, how is this guy not complaining? Right. I mean, with what he's been through as far as getting his ass kicked every game. And now at least I know he's human because he's always perfect in every interview he does. He doesn't say bad things about anybody. Finally, at least it's like, okay, at least we know he's a human being, and you should complain once in a while in your life.
It's weird that now after interviews he doesn't say go Hawks, he just says F this offensive line. And I'm like, that's a weird way to end your interviews,
It really is, but I thought it was catching on. I thought it was a cool hashtag anyway.
Go make t-shirts, F this offensive line.
This offensive line. Oh man. I mean, this is going to be good. But however it's going to work out, at least we got some juicy stuff.
Some drama,
September.
Man. So what do you think? Like, if you had to pick, and I mean, obviously no one's making this decision, but if you were John Schneider and he says it's either me or Pete, what would you do? Because that's clearly the issue, is that he's not happy with how Pete Carroll's running the offense.
Wow. Boy, that is a devil's bargain, isn't it? Because, I mean, they both have been fantastic for the team. Boy, oh boy. Boy, I hate to say this, but I feel like, Pete's brought us to the promised land. John Carroll, they seem to be a really good team. John Schneider, excuse me.
Yeah.
They seem to be a really, really good team. I think I'd have to. I love Russell, but those two can get it. Those two can get it done because you don't got to be on the field. Like, they can age. I think at some point Russell is going to get older and less effective.
He's not very young. I think I'm leaning more. If I had a pick, I'm going to keep the guy who's in the prime of his career as opposed to the guy that's just ready.
Dude, have you seen Pete Carroll? He looks a lot better. He's like, what, 20? I don't know. Maybe he's 10 years younger than me, but the guy is in much better shape than I ever will be.
10 years younger than you? He's like 10 years older than you.
That's what I meant to say. 10 years older.
Okay, he's 68 years old.
One more year, baby.
Oh, he's only 68?
Yeah.
Oh, he's closer to me than I thought. Okay, I'm even. All right. Well, yeah, he looks amazing.
The fun thing also is going on Twitter and seeing what former players, because there's certain players that we've heard that were not very happy with Russell Wilson. Richard Sherman just posted a tweet that he was commenting on a thing that Jermaine Kearse had like a gif of someone eating salad. I think it was just kind of like to be like, oh, what's going on over there, kind of a thing. And then Richard Sherman just put the zipper mouth emoji, and so people are losing their minds about that as well. It's just so much. It's like a daytime soap opera right now with the Seahawks.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it makes sense. You just know that the way things were going, as far as just how he was getting wrecked, and the disappointment we've had when we thought we had something this year. You knew something had to give.
Well, I mean, at least he's not being like one player for the Tennessee Titans who's said that he is done with the team.
Whoa!
And the reason, his name's Isaiah Wilson. He's an offensive tackle, which maybe come to Seattle. He's 22 years old. Rumor has it he's not happy with the team because they did not wish him a happy birthday on social media.
Okay, there we go.
The Seahawks, Bill, they always wish their players happy birthdays.
Steve,
is this Danny V?
That's what I was about to say.
I know how to get him here, man.
What, wish him a happy birthday?
Oh, better than that.
Oh, what's that?
Have your parents sing him happy birthday. He'll come here in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah? That's a good point. His name is Isaiah Wilson.
All right, here we go, Isaiah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
He's totally going to sign.
Happy birthday, dear
Isaiah Wilson.
Happy birthday to you.
He's here. We've got him. Russell.
Yeah, my mom loves him.
Oh, see, Russell, we've tightened up the offensive line for you.
He put a tweet that he since deleted, of course, but he put a tweet that said, "I'm done with football as a Titan. No further comments."
Okay,
happy birthday.
That's all he needs.
Happy birthday. And as far as whether we're going to hit a high, one other thing I just thought was really funny. I guess ESPN was reporting on one player by the name of Matthew Judon from the Ravens. And this reporter was talking about how he's declining a long-term deal with the team and all this stuff. And he's saying that's not actually true. And he got so mad at this reporter that said, hey, look, if you don't stop reporting on me, I'm going to let your wife know that you were cheating on her at a strip club. I have pictures to prove it.
Whoa.
Which I thought was a rather fantastic way to get at a reporter.
Yeah.
The ESPN's like, no, they could do whatever they want. The reporter's right, and we're not going to back down on the things that we said. But there you go. As far as weather, 48 degrees. It's going to be sunny, and that's the major report. And that's what's up.
Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right.
Niagara Falls is located in the United States and what other country?
In Canada.
Yes.
In Canada.
Oh, look at you, fancy. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 647 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. If I can't afford to pay my bills, how am I going to afford attorneys and bankruptcy fees?
One of the things people ask me all the time as a bankruptcy lawyer is that how am I going to pay all these fees and costs because I'm here because I can't afford to pay my bills? And of course we understand that. I mean, being in the bankruptcy field, but one of the things to remember is that if you decide, once you make the decision to file bankruptcy, you can stop paying on all of the creditors that are going to be included in the bankruptcy, and those are the funds that you can use that you have been paying your creditors to pay your attorney fees and court costs to get your case filed. And once your case is filed, you're not going to have most of those payments anymore.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.